GUSTAVO Eddie BALART taking on Carlos Hernandez.
Fighter ready. Fighter ready. Let's fight.
Now, it's not often in mixed martial arts when you're 5'6" like Hernandez where you're going to have a reach advantage. Oh, butt of the heads there, Camaro.
As you can see right away, GUSTAVO is working very well. He's staying on the outside, but he's got that speed advantage. He's being able to spring in and spring out. And what he wants to do is get on the inside, use his Greco-Roman wrestling as he just did, get the fight down to the ground and look to really work there.
What was very impressive, though, is he used an inside kick to set up that takedown.
Hey, opponents might not expect an inside kick coming from a guy of his height, but he's showing that he's a well-rounded mixed martial artist. He can use his kicks as well as just his wrestling.
He's got some top control here. Good job by Hernandez trying to spin out there, but relentless pressure right now by BALART.
Yeah, good job by Hernandez, not really accepting the fact that he's been taken down by a dominant wrestler.
Good job getting back up to his feet. This is where he wants to be in this fight.
Yeah, and he needs to keep that distance. Keep the distance, use your footwork, move. Oh, beautiful knee attempt there.
Oh, a nice takedown attempt there, but a reversal by Hernandez.
Yeah, I mean, Hernandez is definitely letting him know that he's not going to be bullied around in there. He knows his opponent's a great wrestler, but he's not going to be bullied around.
Very calm is Hernandez. If you look at his face, this is a guy that's in a fight right now. Very calm. Throws a nice little knee in there, trying to get the plum in there.
It is beautiful, beautiful knee that he just threw there.
That is beautiful. That's art right there.
Hey. You're going up an Olympian right there, Greco-Roman Olympian. He's got so many different ways he can get that takedown.
He's on top there, working the elbows. I like the old school style of pressing down on the face and then just letting go and putting those elbows in. Just like he's doing right here. Oh, he's going to try and control the arms there.
Hernandez is doing a good job of locking down that leg there and not allowing him to pass. Now he's back in full guard. Now he can work his submissions. Now GUSTAVO is trying to pin him up against the cage here and look to do some heavy ground and pound.
Well, as a wrestler, it's obviously pretty smart. If you want to control your opponent, put him up against the cage, but don't give him the room to get back up.
No, definitely not. And it's sometimes, one thing that I learned from Sugar Rashad Evans is the fact that, that cage is there. A lot of people sees it as a disadvantage, but you got to use it to your advantage. When you're up in there, you have your opponent down to the ground. You want to pin him up against that cage so he feels like he has nowhere to go. To where it feels like to him, there's two people holding him down while you are beating his face.
GUSTAVO was attempting a crucifix there, but a great job there by Hernandez. But now he's got a cut over his right eye.
Yeah, GUSTAVO is doing.
Less than 2 minutes to go in this round. It's going to be a long 2 minutes for him.
He is. GUSTAVO is doing a good job of posturing up. As you can see that he steps up and he's landing some heavy ground and pound. What Hernandez needs to do, I think he needs to put his right hand up against that fence, not grab, but push off and look to spin his way back in to where he can scramble and potentially stand back up here. Beautiful sweep.
Good job there by Hernandez, but again, the relentless pressure by BALART. Grabbing a leg now. And you see it trying to get a guillotine there. Hernandez got in there pretty tight. You see him defending. You see BALART defending there. Trying to get the back there. Look for another throw here or a trip. Gotta watch your base here for Hernandez.
Hernandez got to control the hands here.
And there it is. Just threw him there. Something he's done hundreds of times in his career.
Hundreds of times. And you don't want to stand up like this against a Greco-Roman guy because he's just gonna throw you all around that mat. You want to control hands when you stand up. Control his hands so he doesn't have a secured lock and look to cut that hip and spin out.
Well, a dominant performance thus far in the opening round here by Eddie BALART. I mean, GUSTAVO is just relentless with this pressure. He's going to work on that cut there. He's trying to get past the leg. He's got to be careful, though, because those up kicks will continue to come.
He does, but he's doing a good job of keeping the pressure here. He's got Hernandez down on the ground. Hernandez right now, you can just tell by his demeanor, he's starting to feel like he doesn't have an answer for the wrestling and top pressure that Gustavo is putting on him.
Well, he's going to get a break if he can withstand the next 12 seconds. This fight will go to the second round here. We have 10 seconds to go here. This is exactly, you know, what Hernandez needs right now to get this fight off the mat, get into his corner, get some different advice here, and continue to do what he needs to do to try and survive against Gustavo Eddie BALART.
Go here. No.
Now, obviously, a great dominant performance there by Gustavo BALART there, but despite it being so dominant, we're going to go into his corner to listen in to see what kind of advice they're going to give him. Do they tell him to stay the same or change it up? There is a lot of oxygen that's got to go through that frame to continue to keep up this pace.
Yeah, for sure. You know, but one thing that you don't do is after to make it to the just to be a champion and Pan Am champion is one thing, but to get to the Olympic Games, you've got to do certain things to your body over and over and over to where getting tired is not even something you worry about. But that's wrestling. This is mixed martial arts. You have the threat of people throwing punches, throwing kicks at you. It adds a different element, and yeah, that could wear you out.
You just saw him there changing the distance, acting like he's going to shoot in there. But I think he's a smart fighter. Oh, there's the overhand kick. He's setting him up. Now he's probably trying to convince Hernandez, you know what, we're going to stand in here for a bit. And then, oh, he throws a spin left there.
Yeah, he's doing a good job of mixing it up and letting Hernandez know that, you know, he's willing to stand as well. But I think, you know, the longer he stays standing, the more chances he's giving Hernandez right now in this fight. Hernandez is doing a good job. He came out, he's controlling the distance, and he's looking to land. Earlier in the round, he landed a beautiful straight right to the body. Now, when those start to add up, oh, and a beautiful straight right to the face.
And you can see Hernandez now. He is moving out to the left. He's just got to be careful of his distance here, exactly where he is in the ring, or in the cage, excuse me. Because if you're too close to that cage, you're going to get taken down.
He is, but he's doing a beautiful job. The longer you can keep Gustavo standing here, the more he's going to start to question himself whether his stand-up is as good as yours, because he's not going to his bread and butter, which is his wrestling. But you can't let him close the distance like this, like he's doing.
Now you just threw a knee in there. Hernandez is throwing a knee in there. Is this what you want to do in this situation, or do you want to disengage and get it back to the center of the cage?
Yes, of course you want to disengage, but, you know, that wasn't his option there. You know, he wasn't attempting to clinch there. Gustavo was attempting to clinch. And when Gustavo's in there clinching you, and a guy that knows how to work in there, you got to do what you can. And, you know, whether it's landing knees or elbows, you got to do what you can to put something in his mind in order for you to get that timing to maybe, you know, switch, turn your hips around, get him on the cage instead of him putting you up on the cage.
And they're basically right now in Gustavo's corner. You can hear Alexis Villa barking out instructions. He did say to monitor the distance. I thought he did great in that first round.
I think he did a great job. But for Gustavo, of course, what he wants to do is you want to be in tight. You've given up a huge height and reach advantage. You want to be on the inside. And you're a wrestler, a powerhouse wrestler. You want to be on the inside, controlling your opponent's body. When you have distance between you, you can't control what your opponent's going to do.
The action slowed down a bit here. We do see the referee kind of peeking in there to ensure there's a bit more action happening here. But there's the cut. They did a good job on that cut in between rounds, on Hernandez's cut on the right side there. But you know Gustavo's doing whatever he can to get back at that cut and continue to try and pry it open. But every time he goes for a leg, he loses that position. But now he's got a guillotine attempt here.
He does, but Hernandez is doing a good job of fighting his hands. That's what you want to do. When someone's around your neck like that, you want to fight the hands and get it off your neck. And now he has an underhook, which can allow him to get up here. He just got to jack it up, get his hips up, and stand up.
1 minute and 20 seconds left in the second round here. Another takedown attempt on a guillotine, and he turns it around. A good job by BALART. Knowing that he's in the guillotine, he went the opposite way, which is the way that the guillotine, or the pressure was on, and boom, flipped him right over.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I wouldn't suggest doing against a wrestler of this caliber, is jumping guillotine. Because 9 times out of 10, you're going to end up on your back, and you don't want to be down against a wrestler like that. You want to stay up where you have, you know, an advantage. You know, you've been striking a lot longer, so you want to stand up and use each and every one of your tools. Oh, beautiful knee in the
good job. They dropped his bone guard out there, too.
Out. he's got to continue to work there. And not just work, he's doing a good job. You got to continue to make Gustavo work here, because the more he's working to get you down, the more energy he's exerting.
A little bit of a leg game happening here positionally. This is the opportunity right there. As soon as your opponent defends a leg lock or wants to go the other way, it's your turn now to get back up.
Yeah, both opponents, they're breathing deep here. They're trying to catch their breath. Yeah, they've definitely expended a lot of energy here grappling. Oh, beautiful head kick. 2 of them.
Oh, that takedown there by Hernandez. A great job to close off the round. In my opinion, too little, too late. I do believe that the scorecards are going to be favoring Balart right now. 2 rounds.
Buy you an extra 15, 20 seconds to catch your breath.
Here we go. Round number 3 here. In our opinion, Hernandez is down 2 rounds to nothing. A dominant performance thus far, with the exception of the final few seconds by Balart in that second round.
He is. He's got to use his jab to keep this distance here. Use your jab. Use your jab. Use those push kicks. Keep your opponent at bay so you can land kicks and punches at will. You don't want him to come on the inside and get in his range. Beautiful uppercut.
Oh, tried to have another knee there. The one thing I do like about Balart, though, is you won't see it on his face. You may see his body, the way his body reacts, but his face is a poker face. Doesn't show any fatigue whatsoever.
Great poker face. But, you know, his stance, his hands aren't really tight in there. You know, there's been a couple of times now Hernandez has thrown that right uppercut and they've barely missed him.
It's amazing how 11 minutes into this fight, he still has this energy to be so explosive and get these takedowns.
You know what? Wrestlers can wrestle for days. That's what they do, and that is what he is doing. He can wrestle for days. Just like guys can hit mitts all day long, guys can run all day long, wrestlers can wrestle all day long.
Let's not forget, give these fighters the respect they deserve. This is only Balart's second mixed martial arts fight. He will learn how to finish quicker as time goes on, and this is the pro debut for Hernandez. So this is a live and learn process.
Oh yeah, but for Hernandez, fighting a guy this tough with such a distinct advantage in wrestling, you know, it's only going to work wonders for you. You know, I think he's done a lot of good things in this fight. You know, he's just going up against a guy that just knows how to control his body so well that, you know, he's having a hard time with that wrestling.
Just controlling the head there. What I did like, or what I liked what I saw there, was he was trying to bring his legs up, trying to get a higher guard to try and squeeze in some sort of submission to transition over to a submission. But right now he's got to worry about those elbows. You know, despite the fact that Balart is shorter, and you know, he tried a triangle choke there as Balart was bringing back that right hand for a punch. Smart. He's still functioning correctly here. Just under 3 minutes to go here.
Yeah, he's doing a good job, but at the end of the day, you want to get up. You want to stand back up. And you got close there with a few knees. Those uppercuts barely grazed Gustavo. I think you need to get back up here. Instead of trying to work on submissions against a high-level wrestler, you need to fight the hands here, put it on that hip, drop your hips, look to cut him, and get back up.
Once again, when these Greco-Roman wrestlers get that clinch on you, you only have so much time to defend it.
Oh, man, you're going to have a hard time, not just breaking their lock, but a hard time controlling them from getting their hips underneath you and putting you on your neck.
Just over 2 minutes for Hernandez to get this fight back up, and of course for Balart to go in there to continue what he's doing. If he continues doing what he's doing, he'll win with a dominant performance, in my opinion. Sure, he's trying to go for a finish. He's trying to do a lot more than just simply continue to take down his opponent. Base is low by Hernandez right now.
Nice, beautiful. He went inside for that switch. But Gustavo, just a seasoned wrestler, he steps right back out and right back in on the body lock. Hernandez has got to continue to work here. He's starting to show that the wrestling is breaking him here. He's got to continue to work up.
Minute 25 to go here in the third and final round. Titan FC 43, brought to you by He's a 10. Just relentless grappling here, relentless position, relentless control, continuing to do what he needs to do to keep his opponent at bay. Now these elbows they're more annoying than anything. They're not really causing damage.
They're not, but they're annoying enough to get your attention to where you have to advance. But you,
Less
as
than
you
a
can
minute
see,
to go here.
Yeah, you can see in Hernandez's face, he's just he doesn't have an answer, on how to get up. And this is going to be a learning experience.
I like what he did there before, though. It's like he's faking a sweep and or a Kimura attempt that forces the balance of Gustavo to sort of open up. And that's what he almost was able to stand up there.
He was, but, he really wasn't trying to stand up. He was trying to sweep his opponent or trying to lock in a submission. But he's got to use those to get back up to your feet.
And a driving pass there by Gustavo Ballart. A great job there. But turning of the hips there is Hernandez. He's got 20 seconds to do something here.
He does, but once you're going up against him.
Oh, he rolls. A great job there.
Beautiful roll. Beautiful roll. You got 10 seconds. You got to work here.
Punching away there. Won't get a finish here, but at least the fight is still in him. Trying to close out the fight. Great job there by both of these fighters. Lots of heart shown by Hernandez. Relentless, crazy pressure. Brought to you by Alienware.
Yeah, but you can see here Gustavo, once he gets in, man, a wrestler of his magnitude, just those hips don't have to go very far. Those hips don't have to go very far. He gets underneath you, all he has to do is pop up, and next thing you know, you're going up for air bombs.
It's just so technical.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to our judges. Our judges scored it tonight 30-27. 30-27 and 29-28 by your winner by way of unanimous decision, fighting out of the blue corner, Gustavo El Gladiador Ballart.